Hey, nice party.
Yeah? What's new with you?
Did you know blue whales in Hawaii can be heard off the coast of California?
What?
And time travel to the future may actually be possible.
How is that?
I discovered it on CuriosityStream.
I'm listening.
You can stream thousands of shows on nature, history, science, and so much more.
Cool.
And their annual plans are 25% off, just $1.25 a month.
Now I want to go back in time. Sign up for that deal.
Sign up now at curiositystream.com.
CuriosityStream.com.
That's it, curiositystream.com.
The 2021 baseball postseason is here. Will Milwaukee win a ring this year? Let's talk about what happened in today's game. It's time for the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show with the franchise, Tim Allen, on The Fan. If you need doors and windows, go to PellaWI.com.
Oh, boy. It is a final from Atlanta, and, guys, the results are not good as the Brewers fall here in Game 3 of the 2021 NLDS. And, okay, let's take a little inventory. I know you guys want to get to the offense, but we are firing up here, the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show live on the Las Vegas Strip. And when I mean on the Strip, I'm going to tell you something. Literally on the Strip, thanks to Harris Casino and Hotel, because it's been a blast here. But Brewers fall, and where is the offense? The determining factor in this season was going to be the offense. Guys, that's just what it was going to be. And it turns out that that's what it is. It's 0 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the series through the 3 games. And that's no different today. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Hit into some hard luck, I will say that. They absolutely did. But I want to get to you guys and get your reaction here as the Brewers fall in Game 3. Now, it does beg the question, does Craig Counsell in Game 4 do anything different? Does he scatter that lineup? And I say yes. You have to go drastic here because now it's win or go home situation here. 414-799-1250. Going to get to hear from Craig Counsell. And what do you think of the moves today? A couple of different things. I was surprised by Hunter Strickland not getting the first call to pick up where the starter leaves off, which he's done basically his whole tenure here in Milwaukee. I was surprised by the Adrian Hauser insertion right there. I would have went Strickland before Hauser. I would have kept Freddie Peralta in the game, guys. So there's a couple of different moves right there. Want to get your reaction, 414-799-1250. Let's get right to you. Let's get to Ron. Ron, we're going to do anything different in a win or go home game tomorrow?
Well, I think tomorrow I would love it if teams would bring their ace back on 3 days rest once in a while, because if ever there was a time, I'd rather have our fate in the hands of a not fully rested Corbin Burns than a fully rested Lauer. But that's aside from the point. The point of this game is Craig Counsell committed one of, if not, no, it is the worst managerial blunder in Brewers history. You had the advantage in this game as long as you had Freddie in there. For the first time in this series, our starter had the low pitch count. They were the ones dealing with the starter with the high pitch count. Their starter was going to be gone in an inning anyway. I'll take Freddie and then the back end of our bullpen over whatever else any day. This is inexcusable, and now this is also 3 straight years of we can't score in the playoffs. Might I suggest, it is what I always feared. We become competitive, but we're like the Twins or the A's kind of competitive. We're getting to the playoffs every year, but we never really have a chance to get anywhere. This is maddening. And last thing, this is for the first time, I hate the DH in general. I'm now a fan of universal DH because it takes decisions like this out of Craig Counsell's hands. This was managerial malpractice.
Thanks for the call, Ron.
Gotcha, Ron. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. 799-1250. Again, it was rather impulsive, I would say, Ron, going to the Vogelback at bat right there for Freddie Peralta. And he was going for offense. He was going for the big blast. And isn't it funny how that does work out where, Craig goes to, as I said, Vogelback to pinch hit. and it doesn't work out. Snitker goes to pinch it with 2 on with Peterson, and you see the difference in the game right there. That's the difference. One guy got it. One guy got the blast. The other guy didn't get it. And that's, hey, man, I got to say, I am not surprised by this season being determined, and it's not over. Let's keep that in mind. Win a baseball game tomorrow, you come back to Milwaukee. But this season, the series, and the advancement throughout the postseason here is going to be literally on the offense. And we're seeing them come up short. They are one swing away from getting swept, folks. Now, their pitching, on the other hand, by the way, the offense has scored 2 runs in the series. Pitching, on the other hand, they've given up 7 runs. Easily enough to sweep this series. Easily a low run total to win this series. Just can't hit the baseball. They're just not moving the line. They get the opportunity, second and third today, nobody out, and they get a gift double play, a couple of base runners that were acting like they're in Little League for the Atlanta Braves. I don't know where Duvall's going from first to second on a run that's going to waltz into home plate. Austin Riley at third base, the third base runner, what are you doing sliding into home plate? That's a deep fly ball to Christian Yelich. He's not throwing you out from 300 feet out there. You didn't take advantage of those blunders. 799-1250. Let's go to Nate. Nate, you're next here on the Fan. What's up, dude?
Well, what's up, Tim? I'm not even going to talk about council right now. That's probably just going to make me mad. Well, anything I talk about is going to make me mad, so let's just get to it. Christian Yelich, where are you? I'm just going to say it. He's been pitiful this whole series. There's no excuse you can make for him. Yeah, he had a good throw today to second. As far as I'm concerned, that's the only thing you're good for. He's not done anything. Not done anything all year. And all year I've been hearing, just wait to the playoffs. Wait to the playoffs. He's going to come up big for us. He's going to do this. He's come up small in 3 games. He's just pitiful. Colton Wong, I need a little bit more from you, Colton. I love the guy, but I need more. At this time of the year, what you did during the regular season does not matter to me. It matters what you do now. And if Christian Yelich cannot lead this team, then let's get rid of him and find somebody who can. Because at this point, it's 2 seasons in a row, Tim, that he's been terrible.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And you know what? He's gonna like I said yesterday, we are going to have those conversations throughout the offseason, into spring training, and into the 2022 championship season, Nate. I get you. It's tough. You know, I had a little bit of an issue not starting Escobar today. Here we go. Guys, you got about a 270 hitter, knocking out 25 to 30 home runs, 80-plus RBIs, got some wheels. He's a switch hitter, and he's not starting this baseball game. I mean, Nate, I gotta move here, but man, I'm wondering though, and again, this is not over. There's a baseball game to win, and it's only one game, and it changes the complete feel of all of this. It does, guys. No matter how disturbing these numbers are throughout the 3 games here, it is one game to win, and then we change the mindset. A crooked number you would think is coming soon just by law of averages. You got to put up the crooked number. You got to keep the line moving. You got to hit. Someone's got to come up with a hit here. Rowdy had it in game 1, and some are saying, and in terms of talking with some of the sports guys here in Vegas, that you're lucky you're not getting swept in this series because of that one swing. But see, that's one swing for Jock Peterson today too. I mean, that you could look at it that way too, and they get them, and it's not very many. Runs are at a premium. We knew that going into this series. There weren't going to be a bunch of runs scored here in this series. Just on either side, number one, because the Brewers' pitching is stellar, but number 2, the Brewers' offense has been known to struggle and they have thus far through the 3 games. We are live here after a Game 3 loss, 3-0. We're in Las Vegas, right here on the Strip, and I didn't play anything on this one. This one was just sit back because, quite frankly, I'm a little nervous that the season is on the brink here, and it's a win or go home situation. Now let's see what happens tomorrow. There is a game tomorrow. Let's not forget about that. Brewers still alive here in their championship run. Sam, go ahead. Where are we going to go?
Let's go to Mitch. Go ahead, Mitch.
Go ahead.
Hey, guys. This game was tough. I'm a season ticket holder, and it's tough seeing the same stuff since 2018. And a lot of it, I think it falls on the hitting philosophy we've had since 2018. We've been in the bottom third of the league in batting average with runners in scoring position for 4 years in a row. And in the past 4 years, I think those lineups are not bottom third lineups, maybe 2020, but they are not bottom third lineups. And that's something that I think that comes down to Andy Haynes. And it's just consistency. We've seen it from every single player. Their lows are extremely low. And that's what a hitting coach is there to make sure those lows do not get that low. And we do not go through these prolonged stretches where we just do not score runs. And I'm fine with Craig with that decision. That's one thing. You know, he took a gamble and he didn't win. But just overall, I'm not fine with having no consequences for Andy Haynes for the past 4 years. The past 4 years of below average offense in the playoffs. And I know he's Christian Yelich's guy, but you know what? Christian Yelich is a bottom of the order hitter right now. We should not keep a hitting coach because he's best friends with Christian Yelich. It's very frustrating watching this team. I love this team. I think there's still a chance we win the series. There's still a chance we win the World Series, but it's just something that there's got to be some consequences here.
Thanks for the call, Mitch.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that, Mitch. Yeah, I mean, part of this is the genetic makeup, if you will, of that offense. Guys, we have to take a look at that in the offseason. But right now, and I understand what you're saying. We go back 18, 19, 20 into the playoffs, and then you shut off. You're not hitting baseballs. But I mean, it does have the opportunity. I find it hard to believe that the offense is struggling like this in this series. I do. I'm a little surprised by that. I'm not surprised by low offensive totals for both sides in this series. But it is surprising to me that someone's not poking one here and there. That part of it is really tough. It's just tough. And Mitch, you might be onto something with the Andy Haynes thing. I don't know. That's been discussed many, many times over the years, how valuable a hitting coach really is in determining the success or failure of a team. But I will just say this, in terms of Major League Baseball standards, they do have an impact, and the reason I can say that is because they get fired. So if they don't have an impact, they wouldn't be fired. And there are hitting coaches fired weeks into a season, and we saw that earlier this season with a couple of hitting coaches. Mitch, you want to get one more in here? I'm sorry, Sam, you want to get one more in here before the break?
Yeah, let's go to Ken in West Bend.
Kenny, go ahead. What's going on?
Hold on.
You go.
So first I'm going to rant, and then I'm going to calm everybody back down. I think the decision that council made on Saturday was horrendous to switch that lineup. Guys have got to play next to each other, and the order has to be solidified. You had that with Friday night, okay? So you had what you wanted. You had Tellez, or at least what I would have thought would be their premier lineup, by having Tellez at first, Wong at second, Donis at short, and Escobar at third. Your outfield, Yelich, Kane, and Garcia. You stay with that. You don't start this plug-and-play garbage on Saturday, which created a number of issues. Then today, oh boy, you got Willie Peralta pitching a gem. And what do? I understand the fact that, hey, okay, second and third, nobody out. But of all people to go to, why the hell would you go to Hauser? If you're going to do that, get Lauer up. Where the hell is he? He's pitched tremendously. So he would have been the guy, if anybody. And I'm so tired of these analytics. But you could have very easily, instead of bringing in Pork and Beans to hit there, who has hardly swung a bat in August and September because he's been hurt, Put on-base Jason in that position. You know he's been clutch there. If you were going to go to somebody and make those two moves, those would have been the two moves I would have made. Now, with all that being said, this isn't over yet. The Brewers can rally. They've had some downturns during the season, but very few. So if they're going to do it, there's going to have to be a come-to-Jesus meeting in this locker room, and you're going to have to bring these guys together to really rally them from the standpoint of saying, we can hit guys. We can hit their pitching. Just settle down. Stay off the damn high fastball and that big bender, because that's what they've been getting these guys with. They've been fishing, so to speak. They're way out in front of pitches. Time to settle down and do what you've done well all season long and win this next game to get back to Milwaukee to win this damn series and get to the NLCS. Let's go, Brewers.
Yeah, all right. Let's go. Yeah, let's get the victory tomorrow. But you're on to a couple of different things. Number one, Kenny, I'm going to agree with you. And I would have sent the exact same offensive lineup out there in Game 2 that won the Game 1. That's what I'd have done. The other thing I was talking with some folks earlier today in the sports book about analytics and how that plays such a big role in today's baseball. And I understand it, and I get it. And I'm not totally against analytics. But here's what I will say. Take Omar Narvaez, for example. I think they've created a platoon player out of Omar. Now, the numbers do indicate that Omar is pretty bad against lefties. He is. But as Scooter Jeanette taught me years ago, the only way a lefty is going to hit a lefty is by playing against a lefty. That's the only way you get out of that. So, in other words, Omar is typecasted as a platoon player. I don't agree with it. I don't. I think he's an everyday guy, and I think the numbers will rise against lefties if indeed he gets the opportunities against them. It's funny how now it's a scramble mode, or is Craig Counsell stoic? I'm going with my lineup against the righty tomorrow, my lineup against the lefty tomorrow. That's that, end of story. I'm with you, Kenny. My lineup set. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's Tellez, Wong, Adames, and Escobar around the infield. Omar's behind the dish, Kane, Yelich, and Javi. And then off the bench is Vogelback, Tyrone Taylor, JBJ, Manny Pena, Luis Urias, Jace Peterson. Those are the guys that you do this, mix and match here, mid and late game. But, again, I'm just curious. We'll take a break here, but I'm just curious if Craig Counsell does shake that lineup up a little bit. Maybe is this too reaction? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying I would do this. But maybe you throw a Willie Adames in the one hole. Let's go, man. It's time to go. Yelich, is he going to bat 6th or 7th? Maybe you scoot Escobar up there, 1-2. I mean, again, I'm curious about that because it's win or go home. These are the moves that are going to tell us a big, big story about Craig Counsell. These are the moves. Going into tomorrow's game, any move he makes is going to determine a lot of our opinions of Craig Counsell when his back is against the wall. And he really, his back against the wall, it was in cruise control in the month of September. So there's nothing to go on there. All right, we're live here in Las Vegas, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show. Lakeland University mobile studios, 7 locations throughout the state, online. And learn on your terms. It's lakeland.edu. 3-0 for the second consecutive game. Brewers down in the series, 2-1. It ain't over. It's not over. We'll be right back on 1250 AM The Fan.
Let's find out the play of the game. Brought to you by ABC Audio Video. Home entertainment and smart home technology simply done right. Check them out at abcaudiovideo.com on the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show on The Fan.
Darno hits it in the air to left field, sending Yelich back. He gets himself set, will make the catch. Here comes Austin Riley. Throw will go to second, and Riley will not score before the out at second base. Could not get in. The out was recorded first. So Riley needed to get across the plate before the out at second, and they get Duvall trying to tag up. Does not cross, and the Braves do not score.
Wow.
Wow. That's what I have to say right there on TBS. As there's your ABC audio video play of the game. And I do have to say, as a longtime baseball guy, that it just, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm the old guy and just chastising anybody that's young, but the intelligence level of baseball players these days is quite puzzling. I get mistakes happen, but that's fairly routine right there. I mean, it really is. Riley's got to run through home plate. He knows full well someone's got to give him a sign that you're up, but you got to go hard. And we'll take it. Don't get me wrong. Duvall, I don't know where you're going to second base there. Brewers got a gift right there, and I was convinced that was the bottom of the second inning. I was convinced if the Brewers put up a couple of runs in that top half of the third, this game was over. It would have been over. Momentum, they would have been crushed by two huge double plays in the three games thus far, and I don't know if they'd have recovered. That was a big tipping point for me. But there is your ABC audio video play of the game. It's Tim Allen live here on the Las Vegas Strip, and it's the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show as the Brewers fall in Game 3, 3-0. So they win 2-1, lose a couple of 3-0 games, and you do the numbers. 7 total runs for the Atlanta Braves, and just 2 for the Brewers in the series. Pitching has been good enough, despite, giving up, that 3-run home run today. That was a crusher off Adrian Hauser, but wow. Okay, let's get back to you guys. 799-1250. Does Council do anything a little more drastic in that lineup tomorrow? Let's go to Pete. Pete, you're next on the Fan. Go ahead.
Hey, Tim. I'd ask how you're doing today, but I think I already know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This whole series has just been a series of blunders and mishaps, starting with the game on Saturday. I mean, you have Colton Wong at the plate on Saturday already. The pitcher had just thrown 6 straight balls, and he swings and pops it up with runners at second and third and nobody out. I mean, come on, man. The baseball mentality is gone on this team. I seriously question the intelligence of the baseball players now. They just don't do the little things. And this all stems from what Craig Counsell did at the end of the season by letting these guys finish out the season in basically a horrendous slump and then expecting them to just be able to turn a switch and be good. Well, that wasn't going to happen. They went into it with doubt, and you can see what's happening. I mean, you've been shut out for 18 innings. Come on, guys. What is going on? If you were going to do something today with Freddie Peralta, let him try a squeeze. Do anything different to try to score a run. Just try something different, for God's sake. To me, Craig Counsell is the Marty Schottenheimer of baseball. He's going to be a great regular season manager, and it's going to be just chaotic and utter garbage in the playoffs every single year, and that's what it's been. All right. Thanks for the call,
Pete. I know, I hear you, and I hear the frustration, and I agree with some of that. I will say that there's no, as Ned Ghost taught us years ago, there's no magic pixie dust that we're going to sprinkle onto those Brewers bats. There's no one thing that is it's just going to happen. And I don't know outside of a lineup if there's much you can do if you're Craig Counsell. If your counts now, I think you were sort of handcuffed into saying that or thinking that. And I'm in there too. What else can you do? What were you going to do? I mean, Lorenzo Cain's at-bats in the series have been so pro. Now, there's not a ton to show for them, but watch Lorenzo Cain handle a baseball bat. Watch Lorenzo Cain handle an AB. You handle ABs like that as a team, they all at it. That's the one thing I guess you could do is say, look at that man right there. Look at that dude right there handle a bat. He knows the situation, smart about it. But then again, you want to drive the baseball too. And you've got guys like Yelich and Adames and Escobar, and now Luis is showing a little power, Rowdy, Omar, where you drive the baseball. It's not just a foul fest here where you're trying to spoil pitches, because that takes you off your game as well. there's a balance there. And again, I don't know if there's any one thing he can do. I know what I'd do. That lineup would not be anything that we're used to tomorrow. I think you're forced into that. Whether it's moving Rowdy to the 3, Escobar to the 2, Willie leads off, Wong in the 5, something. That's something that probably you might see it tomorrow, but you never know with Craig Counsell. All right, let's go to KJ. KJ, you're next here on The Fan.
Hey, aloha, Tim. Thanks for taking my call on this
Sure.
very rainy day here in Milwaukee. Listen, I feel like Counsell made a calculated risk before this playoff. He basically set the tone for these guys. Baseball players, especially offensively, are creatures of habit. Repetition. He went into this playoff series limping in to the series. I don't know how many games they lost out of the last 10 or 12 games, but there were quite a few. And these guys, like the last caller said, we're not going to just walk in and turn it on. And it's evident right now. I am so disappointed in the last 2 years, not just this series, Tim, but the last 2 years of Christian Yelich. He has been terrible. I mean, he's not hitting for any pop.
That lineup the other day in Game 1. I love that lineup. I did. You're looking at Rowdy Tellez as your 5 hitter, and Escobar is at the 6. I mean, come on. Let them play. But that's me. That's the great thing about baseball. And you're right. One of our callers said, hey, it could be 10-zip tomorrow, and then we're on to Game 5, and it's a bigger swing game than today was. Today, a big swing game. No question about that. Strikeouts, probably for a different conversation. You guys know how I feel about strikeouts. You're going to strike out a lot, you're not playing for me. It's like Belichick. If you fumble the football, you're not playing long for Belichick. It's just that simple. We're not having a mountain of strikeouts on a roster. I don't mind a couple of guys because that's the nature of how they play the game. When you put a full team of these guys together that can't put bat-to-ball skills together collectively, that's where I draw the line. Bat-to-ball skills. We're hitting the baseball, guys. I'm not going to have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 strikeouts a game. It just wouldn't happen. But, maybe that's more of the personnel that's been collected here, number one. Number two, maybe that's more of what this game has gotten to in terms of all or nothing. But if you start in the lowest level of your minor league system, on your intake interview, and you talk to these young kids, and you say, you will not have a strikeout problem from this point forward. You're not going to be here long. You hate to lay that down on them, but if you start them young, it's like anything else. Sam, where are we going?
Let's go to Jacob on the south side. Jacob, you're on with Tim.
Jacob, go ahead, man.
Oh, boys, where to begin? I have one major point, but there's a couple quick ones. Number one, stop blaming Craig Counsell. That's so stupid because, with the pitching they've had, they should have clinched and won the series today. It's not Craig Counsell's fault that they go out on Saturday and strike out 14 times. It's not like he's going out there and saying, hey, guys, swing at everything you see. If it's in the dirt, swing at it. That's simply on the players. And, it's just tough because in my lifetime, I've never seen a Brewers team that has both the pitching and the hitting to win a World Series. I've seen it one or the other, and I think the closest was probably 2008, but Sheets and Gallardo both get hurt, so that kind of screwed you over there. I guess my major point here is that one of the reasons why I can't fully invest in baseball is because there's just not an even playing field, and it's stupid. If you had a staff like this that was this good on the Yankees and their offense sucked like the Brewers' offense sucks, and it truly sucks, they would just say, okay, you know what, we're going to go out into the offseason, we're going to get the top 3 bats that are on the market, and we're going to do it because we can, and there's nothing you can do about it. The Brewers don't have that luxury, so they're always going to have to tinker. And if they want to get a big bat, they're probably going to have to take away from this great staff that got them this far. And again, that's why, this, just the system of baseball itself, on top of Devin Williams just being an idiot, it killed so much of my fandom for this season. And Yelich, I mean, there's been enough time that it's been passed since he's been hurt. He's probably not the MVP player that he was. Maybe he's not this bad either, but I think he's a lot closer to what we're seeing, and that's just going to be a boat anchor for them going forward. So, again, as a small market team, that's where you're kind of behind the eight ball there. So, I don't know. It is what it is. It sucks to feel like it's over, but I felt like it was over for the Bucks when they were down 0-2. So all you got to do is win 2 games at the end of the day. So I'm not fully defeated yet, but, man, this is a bummer. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, all right. Great call. Great call. He's right on the mark and almost across the board. The whole payroll thing, first of all, let's address the players got to play. I mean, this does fall on the hitters. They've got to do their homework. They've got to, improve their approach. They've got to be smart. They've got to do all sorts of things. Yes, but on the pay side of things, I mean, just these are rough numbers. But I'm in the ballpark. $245 million for the LA Dodgers, and about 90 or 95, 100 million for the Brewers. I mean, come on. I mean, I know market and over the course. I don't know. Who would you bet on? We're live here in Las Vegas. Who would you bet on? The $245 million payroll or the $100 million payroll? It's pretty simple, guys. But I don't want to lump that all into right now, because right now is right now. And that's what we have to focus on, and that is the game. That's a game tomorrow. I feel pretty good. The chances are good they win a baseball game tomorrow. They're pretty good. They are. As bad, and as you said, the offense sucks, and it does right now. They can bust out at any time. 799-1250. Sam, go ahead.
Let's go to Lewis on the north side. Lewis, you're on with Tim.
Fellas. A little disappointing today. But I'm like, when you said we can't blame Counsell, he's the leader of the team, right? And we heap all this praise on him. But when he makes mistakes, we got to call it on him. 2018, He pulled Hader a little bit too early. And when Peralta came up, I said, I know we need a run, but he's going to go with the percentages. He already knew going in, we have to extend our starters. And, it wasn't like the guy was at 90, 95 pitches. He was under 70-run homer, the 3-run homer. Sometimes you just got to play small ball. Can you imagine if the Braves guy pulled John Smoltz in 91? You know what I'm saying? Remember that game? When 10 innings, pitchers like that, you have to keep them in there. And managers, like, I think Counsell's one of the top 5 managers in the game. But to be the best, you have to make the best decisions. You know what I'm saying? And Earl Weaver wouldn't have went out there and pinch hit for him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, LaRussa wouldn't have went out there and did that. He would have said, my guy is dealing, let him go.
And on Craig Counsell. But that opens the door to, his decision-making here. I was actually a little stunned that Vogelback was in there, pinch hitting for Peralta there. I really was. It shows you what a drastic state the offense is in, that he has to go for this right here, right now in the 5th. Are you kidding? It's scoreless. It's not 3. It wasn't 3-zip at that time. So, I mean, I could see if you were chasing some runs and you had to take that opportunity with 2 on, say you're 2, 3, 4 runs down. Okay, this might be our only chance here. I get that part. And for those that think I heap too much praise on Craig Counsell, I'll just say that was a horrible move in 2 respects. Number one, the entire time you've had him here, that was his role, the closer for the starter, that bridged the gap to get to the back end of that bullpen, up any more runs. And when Cousins had 1st and 3rd, that's when I was losing my mind today. That should have been locked down right there. You can't afford it. And he can go tomorrow. Josh would have been available to go the next day without a problem. But he got away with that one. But I'm still going to point it out that I thought it was a wrong move. 799-1250. Go ahead, Sam.
Let's go to Drew on the east side. Drew, you're on with Tim.
Go ahead, Drew.
Tim. Oh, Tim. So we pretty much covered everything. If anything has taught me not to have expectations, it's previous relationships. And, I mean, this has kind of been Craig's MO. We've covered all the callers. You've covered this. Pulling pitchers too early, runners in scoring position. This is the problem. And, Tim, unfortunately, we haven't talked since the last time we talked was it was like 2-3. First of all, 10 years ago, I'm only 27. 10 years ago, I would have just been happy to know that 4 years straight, I'm talking Brewers postseason baseball. So Council's doing something right there. And tomorrow, this offense has got to turn around. We got to do something because we don't have a choice. Also, I have guaranteed tickets to one NLCS game and one World Series game, and it's happening here in Milwaukee. So it's turning around because it's championship season. So I'll eat my words if that doesn't happen, Tim, but
option tomorrow. I mean, there's no more long game for Craig Counsell and the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll take a break here and come back. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell coming up in just a bit. There's Sam Schmitz in the Hales Corner studios. My name is Tim here on the Las Vegas Strip. I wish I had better news for you that the Brewers, they fall in Game 3 here, and now series advantage goes to the Atlanta Braves 2-1, and it's win or go home in a huge game tomorrow. That would be an understatement. Sapella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show right here on 1250 AM The Fan.
Let's find out what happened in today's game from the guys that played it. Let's head inside the clubhouse, presented by Windows Select. Right now, buy one, get one free.
All right, welcome back. It's the Sapella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin postgame show. Sam Schmidt back at the studios. Tim here live in Las Vegas on the Strip here just outside. So Rami is going to be back. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell. You guys, if you can't get in here, we're going to continue to get your reaction here on a Brewers 3-zip Game 3 loss. They haven't scored a run in their last 19 innings. Now, I don't care who's pitching against the Brewers. They should have some runs on the board in 19 innings, but not the case here. So I'm going to turn things over to Sam. And again, Rami's got some pretty interesting and unique spins. I want to leave on a really super positive note and before I turn things over to Sam. And so I believe this is coming back to Milwaukee.
In Kenosha, you're out, Tim.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, guys. Well, I called a couple days ago and let me backtrack real quick. If we're criticizing Craig Counsell, I want to say this. After watching 3 games in this series, we should be on our hands and knees this offense. Craig Counsell's done an I mean, you can nitpick moves, and I get it. And I understand, talking about pulling Peralta, this is what you do as fans. But what's he going to do? You have to score runs. But I called a couple days ago and this is, until they change their offensive philosophy, this is what you're going to get. And I can't stress it enough, and I said it.
Hang tight. We'll get to you guys once we transition back into the Rami show. But for now, as Tim previewed before, let's hear from the battery from today's Brewers team. Freddie Peralta just pulled after 57 pitches on the Fan.
Freddie, you've seen Lorenzo Cain give his body up so much for the team, running into the fences. He did it again today and almost made an incredible catch. Just what can you say about the effort he gives out there in center?
It didn't surprise me because he do that all the time. Doesn't matter in what game we play in because every game are important. But he always is trying to catch the ball no matter how far it is. And for one moment I thought that he caught it, but it was a little dangerous too for him. But he always was hustling and trying to catch the ball. Great for him.
Tomorrow, as you look to start the game?
Yeah, we haven't. We're going to discuss it here, and we'll let you know. But yeah, we'll just look at it and map out the scenarios for tomorrow. But I think we're in decent shape.
Go ahead, Adam. Craig, is Corbin Burns on short rest in that equation, or is that a no-go?
Corbin's not. It's not going to be Corbin.
Any other questions for Craig? Tom, go ahead.
Craig, did the way that Hauser threw the ball in Game 1 influence that he got it again today? Because Peterson's the only guy that's...
Yeah, I mean, the innings is much. The first two guys are matchups we were seeking for Adrian. Those guys deserve credit too. Both went the other way on some nice pieces of hitting. Adrian Sinker's been really good. Adrian's just been good. Period. He really has. He's been incredible the second half. Had a really good first outing here in the playoffs, and just didn't play today.
There he is, Brewers manager Craig Counsell, after a 3-0 loss against the Atlanta Braves in Game 3 of the NLDS. Some interesting comments afterwards about whether or not Corbin Burnes was going to be a starter in Game 4 on short rest. Craig Counsell doesn't sound like it, so we'll see what the Brewers do. They have their backs against the wall for Game 4 of this NLDS matchup. After the last pitch tomorrow, Tim Allen will be with you once again here on The Fan on the Pella Windows and Doors Wisconsin postgame show. That's going to be it for today's show. I am Sam Schmitz, producer here on The Fan with you. Stay tuned, guys. If you're on hold, we'll get to you next as the Rami show continues here on The Fan. And smile, Milwaukee. The world will smile back.
New this week on Curiosity Stream. Witness the meteoric rise of YouTuber Jimmy Donaldson, a.k.a. Mr. Beast, made famous by his jaw-dropping charity.
We'd like to give you $10,000. This is where things get fun.
On a new episode of Beyond the Spotlight. Plus, meet unique people with the world's most incredible brains on a new season of Secrets of the Brain. Check them out on CuriosityStream.com. Annual plans are just $20. That's $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com now.
The climate crisis is here. Time's slipping away to stop the worst effects of global warming, and we need solutions. Hosted by me, Molly Wood, How We Survive dives deep into the economics, the tech, and the human stories behind those solutions. From billionaires trying to monopolize lithium mines to business rivalries so fierce that one CEO was dragged off a plane by federal authorities. How We Survive, following the money to the end of the world because our survival might depend on it. Listen on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Ellen Pompeo, and I would like to introduce you to my new podcast, Tell Me. I'm going to invite people that I find interesting to come on and tell me their stories. That's where Tell Me comes from. Listen and follow Tell Me, a podcast presentation of Cadence 13 with me, Ellen Pompeo, now for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts.